Everybody, welcome to the weekly webinar for Eat2earn. So today, like most of the Mondays, is a training event. So we don't tend to do business presentations on this particular meeting because we want to make the good use of time. And by now, we expect people to have watched one of the webinars or looked at the 25-minute video that I did, which just basically does an overview of what the business is all about. So if you do look to bring people to this webinar, which is obviously, very useful for them, make sure they've watched one of those beforehand so they're not coming cold. And then we can obviously move straight into the training. So we've got a few things today. I was hoping that Steve Thomas would be on this webinar, but he's not here. So I'll have to talk about what we just discussed today. But the first thing I wanted to go over was we'll do the kind of updates first, and then we'll talk about the training that I'm going to talk about, which is Facebook training. So the first thing is the 14th of August, which is our first, what we're calling a launch event. So that's in Stoke-on-Trent. We really need as many people who's on this call and obviously more besides to come to that event and bring, or at least invite people like restaurant owners and takeaways as much as affiliates, but not customers. It's not a customer-driven meeting that. It's more to help us to bring on more takeaways and obviously the affiliates for yourselves. So if you can obviously make that your focus over the next week, because we need, obviously it's a week tomorrow. Is it Tuesday the 14th?
It is.
Yeah, it's a week tomorrow. So we need to get as many people. We've got a room for about 30 people, but it can actually hold more. So obviously we're setting it out for 30. We do really want to try and fill that room. We don't want to go there and only find that there's 5 or 6 people, which at the moment is all we've got booked in on the Eventbrite. So we need to get that room full. So I'm banking on you guys to help us do that. We can only do so much, but we can't do it all ourselves. So we're just hoping that you can help with that. So, that'll be about a 2-hour meeting. And we are looking to, I've not discussed it with Aki again since, but we will sit down and talk with people beforehand as well, if need be. So we'll probably get there about 4, have a couple of hours before the meeting starts, and we will be around after the meeting ends as well.
That'd be good.
Hold on, I've just got somebody making a noise. I don't know where the noise is coming from. Lawson, I think it might be, hold on, maybe Anna, I'm just going to pause you on a minute. I'm just going to mute, I'm just muting everybody, so sorry about that. If you needed to talk, just, take yourself off mute. So John said he'll be booking in as well. So that's really the key thing, is that the 14th is the first date in the diary that we need to make sure we do something with. It's a really good opportunity to get people in front of Aki, because he obviously can't go to all the meetings around the country because he can't be physically everywhere. And it's a good 3 hours from just to get to Manchester, so him going to London every week is just going to be impossible. So we just got to use his time wisely. But he is willing to do as many meetings as we need him to do, but in a structured way. So that's the first event. And then there's another event which Steve Thomas kind of brought to our attention yesterday. And that's an event that's happening on the 25th and the 26th of September in London at the XL Arena. So this event is free, so you can get free tickets for it, but you do have to be prepared to walk around and have sore feet. So it's definitely a wear comfy shoes day, because believe you me, I have actually hosted events. Well, I've not hosted the event. I've actually been involved in standing on a stand at the XL Arena for 2 days. And believe you me, you are dead by the end of 2 days, because it's so tiring. It's such a big place to get around and you see so many people, but it's perfect because if I show you, let me just get the event up. Just 1 minute. I just want to show you what I mean, and then you can get a feel for what I'm trying to talk about. Right, so if I share this to you, hopefully it'll take me to the right place. So this is the XL Arena, and this is what it's called, the Restaurant and Takeaway Innovation Expo. So it's perfect for what we need. Hold on, Lawson's coming back in. So what you can see on here, if you look at the exhibitors, there's 350 people exhibiting. And you've got all sorts of people in here. Now, I did see one as well, which I don't know where it is, but you obviously come and have a look at this yourself. It's takeawayexpo.co.uk. That's the website to go to. You can get free tickets. There's no cost. The nearer the event, those prices will obviously they will charge you. So even if you're not quite sure whether you can make it yet or not, I'd book a ticket anyway because there's nothing lost. They don't charge if you don't turn up. But if you don't get your ticket before the event, then obviously you'll have to pay. What I do like and what I don't like is the fact it's in partnership with whoever but Just Eat. So they're obviously got a partial party to it. Now I have seen, if you look at the, there are some seminars. So it's not just about going to, well, the first thing, I mean, the reason why you would want to go to this event, first of all, is the right people are there, first of all. So there's going to be a lot of stands, but there's going to be a lot of people, and those people will be coming looking for information and, like you say, innovation and ways of doing things better. Now, they won't have come across Eat2earn, we're brand spanking new. They'll have heard of Just Eat, obviously. So you can say, well, we just like Just Eat. So you can have that conversation with people. You just need to be prepared to open your mouth. And I would say go with a T-shirt on, with your Just Eat T-shirt on, and some leaflets in one of your Just Eat bags around, like one of these satchels, and have them with you. You can't go onto somebody else's stand and start pitching their people, but once they walk away, on the way somewhere else, you can catch them and say, what is it you're here for? And I'll go through some of that because it's kind of what we used to do on my event when we were doing it. You would try and catch people on the way out and see what they liked, what they didn't like, what they were looking for, and just take the name and address, and then you can follow them up. But what there was in here, there was, I'm sure it was something like, let me find it. It was to do with franchising. So there was a franchise exhibit. No, it's not that one. I'm sure it was in here. Franchise. There was another event happening next year, and it was a franchise company. So again, that would be something to go to, because I would call what we've got is like a mini franchise. We always say about that with network marketing. It's like a mini franchise. Why would you want to go spend 100 grand or something when you can do this and put a bit of effort in and still get a decent, return? So, there's loads of different places. I will look through some of these, get up to date with who's going to be there. Now, what Steve did share with me today, just move this a minute. I just need to be able to get to something. So Steve said to me today, when I can find his information, right, so what he said was, he spoke to, here we are, he spoke to the organizer of the event, and he said it seemed very upbeat with the idea of us being at the event. And I just said, oh yeah, that just sounds like he's trying to, sell you a stand though, because he said that restaurants are suffering after and outlined the ideas to him. He practically said that that's exactly what most people will be looking for, and from what he's seen. And I just said, oh, he's trying to sell you something. But I said, well, did they talk about the cost? So the cost of a 3x2 stand is 2,610 plus VAT, and then obviously a 3x3 is 3,915 plus VAT, which means that we get put onto a newsletter of 22,000 people. And then there's the football at the exhibition, and majority of restaurants that visit have the owners and managers attending. It's the 5th year that they've been doing it, and he said he's sending in more information. So what he's suggested is that, obviously, depending on how many people are going to the September event, maybe it's something we would want to do together. I can't see for 1 minute that at the moment that we can do it from a company perspective because of all the other costs that we've got to take on board. But if we collectively want to do something where we can have a stand, then we could do that, or we can just all turn up. Ideally it would be nice to have a stand, but we don't need to do it this year if we don't want to do it, if we don't think it's worthwhile. But what we could do is plan it for next year, or just turn up and just walk around the stadium, it is big, believe you me. So what's your ideas on that? I mean, what do you think? Is it worth us, thinking about having a stand, or is it just going to be too expensive for you guys?
Sharon, can I put in? From my, and this is going back a way, but I do know that they tend to be a bit iffy about people wandering around with leaflets that haven't booked a stand. So there is that aspect of it that you feel a little bit, is someone, I've been to a few. I've been to the Manchester, the Emmy. What's it called? The Central Manchester exhibition. And I do know we had a doTERRA exhibition actually. We had a stand, and there were a few people that wandering around, and I do know they were asked to put the leaflets away.
What, even though you had a stand?
No, that's what I'm saying. We had a stand, but there were people there that were wandering round that didn't have a stand. And I know absolutely they were asked to put their leaflets away because they didn't have a stand. So I mean, on a positive note, I'd be happy. Say if there were 10 of us, I'd be happy. I'd have thought that was a reasonable cost share if there was, say, 10 people. Yeah. And then you do feel, actually, I think as well, it's a good for us as well to all get together. It's an opportunity you've got a base. If you're knackered, you don't come and sit down. You got a seat. You feel you've got somebody. If you get stuck for a conversation, if you're talking to someone and then you need support, you feel that you've got support. It's like, oh well, just come over. I don't have the answer to that, but actually, we've got a stand. If you come over, I'll get someone to chat to you. So you've got that side of it as well. So. And
the fact is, I'm hoping. Well, I'm trying to get them, and I can't promise I can be there because of Neil's dad. I will do my best to be there, and if everything goes to plan, I will be there. But I can't even plan 2 weeks ahead, never mind 6 weeks ahead at this stage. So, but yeah, I think because we'll have Aki there as well, so you can say, well, the CEO's here, he can answer those questions. If it's something,
yeah, exactly, absolutely.
So I think in a way it is a good idea. Whether we just have a 3x2 or we go
just the smallest one. Yeah, don't go mad, but yeah, absolutely. And then if everyone has a T-shirt and is carrying leaflets around, then you feel actually it does give you that extra confidence to go and talk to people as well. And if you have a stand, as you know, then there's that absolute right beforehand to go and talk to all the other stand owners.
Yeah, you get there early enough in the day, you can get in quicker, can't you?
Absolutely, because you're up, you're ready, you've got your stand, you just go, and that's what everybody does. An hour or two beforehand, they all go and talk to each other and the stand owners. So there's a lot then of sort of contacts, networking to be done. It's a very useful couple of hours networking.
And it's not a couple of hours. Oh, you mean that bit? I'm going to say the day's not.
No, pre the event. You know, once you've set up, yeah.
And also, from what I remember, because obviously I've been down there, I've done it for quite about 5-6 years. Where you go and I've done it in Manchester, I've done it in London, and they do have after show things that you can go to. There's also things like what do you call them, seminars that you can go and listen to people talking about it. But what I think it'll give you is a big enough appreciation of the size of the industry.
Yeah,
that's the main thing, isn't it? Is for that. So
I know a couple of people are just putting comments in saying, "Oh, it's a bit early," but the other side of that is, I was actually thinking today. I spent quite a bit of time sort of thinking about it, and we can't. I don't believe we can spend time pussyfooting around. I think you really do need to make your presence felt if you're going to be signing up restaurants and takeaways, because you can't sign up the odd takeaway and restaurant and then say, oh well, yeah, we're a new company, in 4 months time we'll come back and something might have happened, because they'll go, I'm fed up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, like Dave, I know Dave, what you just mentioned is about too early. It's actually, it is and it isn't. Unfortunately, the event's happening next month. Next month, and we're at where we are. If it were next year, it would have been perfect. In March, we would have been saying we're going to that thing in September. But as it happens, I think it is probably the right time because we need to get our brand awareness out there. It's that place, and obviously, people coming to that event won't just be coming from London; they'll be coming from all over the country, as I know because I've been there myself and asked people where they're from, and they come from Yorkshire, they even come from Glasgow and Edinburgh. So it's all over the country. They come to one central place. And if you've never been to an Excel Arena event, what do you think, Anne? I mean, it's massive, isn't it?
Oh God, it's just.
You've never seen anything like it in
life. Yeah. It is. You know, it is one of them things. Like if anyone's been to Crufts or to the horse show, at the Birmingham. I don't know where everyone's based, but that's massive. And then just think bigger, really. It's like, you know, if you come out the wrong door in a way, I mean, it takes you half an hour, doesn't it, to find out where you are and go back in, you know.
I mean, I don't know which hall they've gone for, but I know there's been events where they've had both halls for one event where you have to cross over, and it's like the size of about 6 or 7 football fields together.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If they've got, I suppose that's the one I've been to where they've got both halls, where you come out one door and then you go in. You go, my God, where am I? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's a good idea, but we do need to obviously get people's commitment, because we need to pay for the event beforehand. So people are going to have to come up and say if they want to do it and how much, that they are willing to do it. We'll try and get the price down as much as we can.
I was just about to say that. I've done it in Manchester where they've been saying, oh, it's 2,500, and I think we ended up paying about 1,600.
How did you do that?
Because we knocked them down. We said, well, it's close to the event, you know, come on. Right. You're obviously, you know, these stands are not taken. You know, what would you rather have? A stand that's someone in it, or an empty space given to charity? Because what they do is fill up the empty spaces with charity companies, you see.
Okay, and so you've just volunteered yourself for a job.
I don't mind doing it. I really don't mind doing it. I'll, you know, it's all about sort of chatting away and just saying, like, come on, oh, we can't afford that. We're a new company, you know, we're coppering up here.
Well, what we do is, when we get the details off Steve, we'll say you are our event organizer.
No, thank you very much. Hey, I'll pass that on to my daughter. She does that.
We'll give you that job, and then obviously come by and just say, look, you know, we're trying to decide whether it's for us, because, like you said, with it being a new business,
yeah,
our costs, you know, we need to look at costs. So if you can do whatever you can do, we'll obviously, and obviously if we find it's a worthwhile exercise, we'll definitely be there next year and we'll pay.
Well, I was about to say that's the other thing, of course. You say, look, we're a startup, you know, it's short notice. We want to be part of this. And you know what? Next year, guess what? We'll be booking a big space. You know, we'll be there, all the sort of banners in the air business. But this year, we just need support in getting going. So, yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, is that okay for you to do that?
No, I'm fine doing that. Yeah.
I mean, maybe, I mean, I'm not sure whether Steve's got the negotiation skills as well.
I was just going to say, he might be able to do it himself. I don't want to take over if he's...
Maybe you two have a chat. Do you know Steve Thomas?
Yeah, of course I do, yeah.
Have a quick chat with him, see whether he's confident to do it or whether he's willing to let you take over that bit. I mean, obviously, he's done the legwork, but he may...
Yeah, exactly. He's done the first bit, but he's happy. Yeah, no, if he's happy doing it, let him do it. Yeah, absolutely.
But if he's not, then you will.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so if you can try and do that this week then, so we can let people know on next week's webinar what we're going to do. And if we're going to do it, might decide because we need to pay.
Yep. Apologies, that was my canine assistant there.
I've got one of them, but she's outside, so she can't get in.
Well, that's why I go on mute most times.
Okay, so everybody have a look at that anyway. So have a look at the event and just make your way around this. Look at the seminars. I believe the guy from Just Eat, I think he's the marketing director's doing a speech. Scott said to Aki, I think you should put your name down to do a speech. Well, Aki thought, oh my God. I think that'll be next year, but not this year. He was a bit too scared to do that this year, but it is worth the while. Sometimes those events are hit and miss. It depends what you are, but because we are so unique and that people have not seen anything like it before, I think we might get some, interest. But we need to get people to the stand, so we need people, the worker bees, wandering around and telling people come over to our stand and check us out and that kind of stuff. So it's about just doing a bit of everything, as many feet on the ground as we possibly can. And I know it's going to be difficult because it's a long day, but the more we can get there, the better, to be honest. And the people who pitch in for the cost of the stand were the ones who get the share of the leads if we get any leads coming in. So it's only fair that the people who pay get that. Obviously, people.
I was just about to say that. That makes yeah, absolutely. We just share out whatever leads are there. We just share them out. Yeah.
Yeah, and at least, what you should be doing, everybody should be coming with, and this will be like compulsory for you to do, is you need a T-shirt with Eat2earn on, and you also need one of the little sticker bag, one of the little leaflet bags that you can put around your shoulder. So you can give out your leaflets, and you give out that when you're talking to people, give out your leaflet because that's your ID on it. So then at least you know if they do sign up, they're going to go with you anyway, in theory. There might be people who come to the stall, or there might be people who go to the website afterwards, and we'll just try and work out from them where they've come from. We'll actually, we'll ask them whose lead were they. If it was a lead from the arena, the Excel, then we know who was at that, who paid, and so who's entitled to get a share of them. So we'll definitely do that. So we can all work with that. That's definitely not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of things that you can do if you've got a stand. For instance, it's like, anyone who's a restaurant owner or a takeaway, put your business card in the box and then we draw one out and they get free membership. It's like whatever, there's all sorts of things you can do to promote it and get your contacts, because that's how you're building your base, isn't it? Your contact base.
And we are a UK-based wide company. It's not like, and it's in some cases, like for customers, I know they're not going to be customers, but, it's free for most customers to get started, which a lot of think, if they have to pay, they're never going to join. So I think with this, and it is low cost. It's nothing for most of these restaurant owners. But once they've seen the name out there, once we've got our badges out there and our logos, and we can get some freebies to give away to people who come to the stand, whether I don't know what we've got to get yet, but we'll have to look at think what we can get for to give out with them. So
yeah, I presume. I was going to say I presume, but I'll ask. I won't presume. Bad to presume. The table covers and things like that. Would we be able to sort of access some of those to build the stand, or would we have to start thinking about buying those between us to do it? Because that obviously really adds on the cost.
Well, the stand will come. We will get a stand that is like with all our writing on it. I would imagine we do.
No, it's things. So, for instance, on the merchandise back office, on the website, there's things like the tablecloths. There's the stand, the standalone sort of stand. There's the pop-up stands, all that. If we have to start contributing and getting those together between us, that actually will really bump up the cost, because it can cost a lot to make a stand look good. Whereas if we could somehow sort of do it as a company thing and have a few, and then actually see afterwards, we could actually make use of those going forward. If someone wanted to stand in the middle of, I don't know, Oxford Town Centre, if they've got one of those pop-up, the stands with the base, then that could be used. So maybe that's something just to think about.
I think maybe that's something we do between teams, because obviously having one for the company is not going to be able to, because it's the shipping of it around to places. So it would probably worthwhile if there's about 3 or 4 in one area, then you all chip in and get rid of those.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking for this event. I suppose that was.
About that. I think for that, if we're all chipping in with the cost of the stand, then I'm sure we can get something to make it look pretty.
Brilliant. That was all I was thinking. Yeah.
As we're not going to buy the little, we're not buying any stand. We're just buying the tablecloths and stuff for that, to make it look nice, like you say.
Yeah.
If we need to find out what it looks like, because they may do a lot of that for us. So we just need to see what we do need, because we don't need to buy it if we don't need it. But I think maybe, I'm not sure what Aki's going to bring in next week when he comes to the event. So we'll see. I'll have to find out what he's bringing as well. So that was that. The other thing is, you do know that obviously one of the target markets for us when it comes to customers, but also affiliates as well, is the universities and colleges. So universities and colleges, they all start in 4 weeks' time. So now's the time to start thinking about, and obviously, Anne, you're okay because you've got Liverpool.
I've also got Preston. Right, are we okay for Freshers Week then?
I don't know, what does that mean? Are you
okay? Freshers Week is where you've just got an audience of thousands and thousands of students.
Yeah, but are we all right for Freshers Week? What does that mean? Are we all right?
Right, are we all right for bringing customers on board? Sorry, for Freshers Week. I was thinking we weren't ready for customers.
No, we're not. We're looking for the people who do the student unions. Those kind of people who are like heads of stuff. So student union associations. Who are they? They're the people you want to bring on, and so that you want them as an affiliate. If not, ideally an affiliate, because then they're going to go and talk to other student union people, or people who can build teams, or just, they'll be your first point of contact when you're ready to bring on your customers.
Right, that's fine. Sorry, I was just thinking we were actually going to be ready for customers in Freshers Week. It's like, oh my God.
No, no, I don't think so. I mean, we might, you never know, but I don't think so. I think, we're planning, we want to launch the app ready for when that happens. And I'm not sure, I've not got a time scale for that at the moment. So.
Yeah, maybe we could do with a time scale going forward where we can all know what's happening and know what with our goals are, sales target goals, etc. for going forward.
Yeah, we can get that. I can start looking at that for next week and see if we can get like an update project plan as to where we're meant to be. Stuff like that. So that's okay. So just to keep that on your radar, that schools and colleges and all that are back. So it's obviously summertime is not a good time for talking to people like that. So John says he's part of a university that operates all year round. All right, okay, well, there you go then, John. So you're in the right place that you can speak to people anytime you want. So you're looking for student union people. They're the ones who've got the teams, they can send out emails to their newsletter candidates and stuff like that. Now, whether there's other, I don't know, I've never been to university, so I don't know what other kinds of groups you've got within a university that might have people they can, talk about on their social media, that kind of thing. So anybody who's in social media within the university.
Right, okay. Can I come in?
Yeah,
absolutely, John. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, well, I got about 3 or 4 different networks. So I actually work for the Open University, which you may have heard of. Right, so that's why I'm saying all the year round. So, which is huge in itself anyway, because it operates throughout the UK. And
absolutely, yeah.
And it's got a huge network of associate lecturers as well. But I've got lots of other networks which are universities and colleges and schools. So it's question. You need to talk to me and see how we can work with this. Because I got, for example, Liverpool University. I have lots of contacts there who are lecturers in Liverpool University, etc. So it's a question of thinking about how we do this and how we actually push it to the right people. But I have sort of multi layers of networks. It's just a question of working it, thinking it through.
Well, maybe then, next time, maybe next week or the week after, we can have a session on that, if that's possible.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And if you want to, obviously you and John, because you've got the networks in the colleges, then that might be worth you two giving us a bit of insight as to what goes on in the universities. And
I think as well, we maybe, I mean, I know I'm sort of possibly putting the cart before the horse, etc. here, because I've only just come into this, but I'm very keen on actually doing this, really running with this and doing it in the same way as you would from a business point of view, and saying, right, okay, let's break it down so everyone's not doing the same job, but we can all benefit from everybody else's experience, and look to actually break it into, say, little task forces, so smaller groups of us can come together, plan something, really work out what works, what doesn't work, and then actually present one of the meetings going forward and say, right, okay, this is what will work.
It's like a framework then that you can do in any area that you want to then, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, let's do that then. So John and Anne, do you mind getting together, having a quick chat? And then obviously, Anne, if you want to, John, between you guys, if you want to bring in whoever you think you need, whether it's Leslie, Anne, if you want to bring Karen in, or, depending on who you need to be involved in that conversation, then if it includes me and Aki, then fair enough. That's not a problem. And then
I'm fine with that. Yep.
I'm fine with that.
Brilliant, that's fantastic. Scott's asking, when is Freshers Week? What date?
I think it's the 3rd week in September, because most universities. Yeah, John might know better actually.
Which university do you want? So it could be 3rd, 4th week.
Yeah, it's a bit variable, isn't it?
It could be the 1st week of October, depending on which. So depending on the length of the term, so they vary from university to university, but
the earliest is the 3rd week in September, I think, John, isn't it? Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. It's not like it's the first, not like 4 weeks time. So I think we've got about 6 weeks, haven't we, to plan?
Yeah, that's why I was just wondering, was it possible we were ready for freshers? Hang on.
Well, it all depends on if we can get out all the, because it takes 3 weeks to set up a restaurant. So even if we had restaurants in the pipeline today.
Oh, well, no, it won't be. Yeah. Yeah.
You need a good, I mean, Scott, I know you're there. How many restaurants in each town would you need to be able to, or in, you know, in like the Northwest, Manchester, that kind of thing, to realistically, like, say we can launch to the customers? Because I'm not sure what that figure is. Scott might come back to us in a minute and explain that. So that was they were the main updates. So the other thing I've done today is I've done a video with Aki, which took, like I said, 2 hours, and it's basically, I was pretending I wasn't a very good restaurateur because I've never really done that before, so I didn't know what to say. But I was more or less saying to him, they're giving the objections and getting Aki to answer the objections and what he would say, how he would say it. And I asked him your question as well, Leslie, so we have got an answer to that question as well. So I've sent it over to the guys, and they're gonna edit the video, so try and make it as short as possible. But it could be, we're open for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, but it could be 20 because it was 2 hours. But fingers crossed, it'll be relatively short, so you can use that as a training video then to watch it a few times. But no matter how many videos you watch and how many books you read and how many things you look at, it isn't going to help you unless you get out there and do it, because you'll just get more and more nervous and more scared. And there's absolutely nothing to be scared about, because what is that restaurant going to do to you? What is the worst thing they could do?
Well, the worst thing is they say no. You know, that is the worst thing that can happen.
I'm saying they're not going to lock you in the back room and hold you hostage because you.
No, exactly. They'll say no, I'm not interested.
And you just walk out, and that's what you get, and leave in a pleasant way, because you could always walk back afterwards.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know, Sharon, my tack is going to be, thank you so much for listening to me. Can you actually let me know which is the next closest takeaway to you? Because I've started off with somebody who looked, you know, I was impressed with your takeaway. If you're not interested, I'm just going to move on to the next one. So can you point me in the right direction?
Yeah.
And then they'll be like that, okay, right. So that, yeah, but I mean, even so, you could even go to somebody and they'll say no, but then you go back 2 weeks later and say, well, I just signed up John, Peter, thing, you know, those 5 people up there.
Absolutely.
You don't want to take a look at it because they're going to get the customers, not you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But do it in a nice way, because I believe from when you watch the video, Aki reckons the Just Eat guys are very bullish. They go in and they're like, you need us more than we need you. And it's the other way around. We're saying, look, we're going to help you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of the opposite. We're taking the thing around. We're not saying, you know, if you don't join our business, you're going to lose, you know, millions. We're not saying it like that. We're just saying, look, we know you're being hurt. We want to try and make things better for you. This is why we've created this business. So you need to take a look.
Yeah. Has Aki done a SWOT board with Just Eat?
A spot board? What's that?
SWOT, you know, what? Oh, God, now you're going to ask me now what SWOT means. Somebody help me out. Threats, opportunities. I'm going backwards. Threats, opportunities. I can't remember the
strengths, weaknesses.
Threats.
Say it again. At the same time.
Strength, weaknesses, opportunities.
That's it. Strengths, weaknesses. Thank you, John. Thank you, Leslie. Yeah.
I've not seen anything, so let's get that done as well then in that case. So give us what you need. Have you got a picture of what one, you know, when you do it, what?
Yeah, draw a big sheet of paper. It's dead easy. A4, you know, big sheet of plain paper. Draw a diagonal line, a horizontal line, so a big cross on the page. SWOT in the 4 segments. What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? And you compare it to one of your, you know, the biggest person that you're trying to look at, which is obviously for us, it's Just Eat. Yeah. So look at what are their strengths. Well, what are our strengths? What are their weaknesses? What are our weaknesses? What are the opportunities then? You know, and what do we need to be careful of? What can we look for? Which actually, you see, the idea is once you've actually identified the threats, that you turn that into opportunities.
Right. So just to come in here, so I'll post some sort of examples of SWOTs. So it's quite easy to do. You just do it exactly in the way that's just been described, or the one or two other ways to doing it. But I'll post those in the Facebook group, so you can have a look at putting that together. But it's
and maybe John and Anne then, in that case, because you guys have done it before, maybe me, you and Aki to get together.
Yeah. It's far better to do it as a group than individually. It just, you sit there scratching your head individually, whereas as soon as you start bouncing ideas off each other, you go, oh yeah, of course, oh there's that, yeah.
So we'll do it then. We'll start off, and if we think we need more, then we can obviously, but I think between the four, we should be able to get enough.
Yeah.
And then we can show people on another video. So I think these are all really good things to talk about on these webinars. That's the whole point, is to get a group collective kind of feedback, really, because it's not about us telling you what to do. It's about you guys come up with ideas as well.
Well, it's how to best help and develop the business. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Because that in turn develops everybody and supports everyone.
Exactly. So we'll arrange that. Let me know, John, if you want to post that in the group anyway, so we can let everybody see what we're trying to do, and then we'll arrange like a half an hour or an hour session with myself and Aki.
Yeah.
Are you working, John?
Well, I'm always working all the time. Yeah, but I could.
I was going to say, he's a lecturer. He's never working. He's fine.
Hold on, mate. Hold on. I work. At the summer, I work about 60 or 70 hours a week. Seriously, I work as an examiner and as a lecturer, and the lecture's going on all the time.
I know. I was jesting.
I take it, John, most of your work's done online, I take it then?
Most of it's done online, yes.
You don't have to go into the university, you do it remotely.
Most of the time I don't, but actually I'm lecturing next Saturday in Liverpool. But I go different universities. No, we end up. But okay, so I'll have a go at, yeah.
Okay, that's good. So we can do that. Let me just make sure I can mute people, because a few people making noises. Right, okay, so we'll take that offline then now. Me, you and John and Aki will get together with that. Maybe Scott will come as well, because between the five of us, we should be able to present something back. The other thing I wanted to show you, because we've only got 15 minutes or so left, is I did promise I would find the tool for Facebook, which I found. I'm not meant to give this out, right? So you've got to promise that you're not going to tell anybody about this video, about this tool. And I'm not saying you'll be able to use this for very long before it gets disabled anyway, because you're meant to be a paid up member to use this tool. So I'm doing it so you can start learning, playing around with it now. And hopefully you'll get a few weeks, if not months worth of it. The worst case scenario, you don't get to use it after that, but you'll have to just become a member of the Ninja Network, which is fine, which I do recommend people do anyway. If you're trying to build a business online, you need this tool anyway. So this is just just to give you an indication of some of the things you can get access to. So I'm just going to share how it works. So then give me one moment. Do I share my screen? Right, so this is what it looks like. It's a tool that's been developed by the Ninja Network group, and what it allows you to do. So on Facebook, I don't know, has anybody done Facebook attraction marketing? Tried to find people on Facebook? Leslie has. I know Leslie has, and I think Karen has as well. I'm not sure about anybody else. But you have what's been developed. So there's a video here that you can watch, which kind of basically takes you through the tool. So you have to first of all decide what you want to search for. So you can find everybody on Facebook. So that's the one option, is search for anybody, everybody and everybody. Other one is people who are not your friends, which sometimes always is good. If you've been through all your friends, so before you do this, actually, there is another thing you should go through, is go through your friends that you've already got and get rid of ones that are no longer, for me, I've got a lot of people on my friends list who I don't think I want to be friends with anymore. So I'd rather just go through, check who they are, check if I've ever spoke to them, maybe try and give them a message them and see whether they come back with a decent response. If they don't, I'm just going to bin them, because I've got over 4,000 friends, of which probably I speak to probably 500 of them. So I'd rather have 500 friends who are active and participating and dealing, looking at stuff I do, than 4,500 who don't even do anything, So it is about having a responsive list rather than just a big list. So you can go for all people, non-friends, friends, or friends of friends. So I'm going to show you friends one first of all. If you're a man, it's always better. Sorry, if you're a woman, it's easy to go for you can go for women and men. But if you're a man, it's difficult if you try and look for women because people think you're trying to date them. So if you're a man, start off with a man. Don't go for the female if you are a man, just because that might get their guard up. So start off with the men, and when you've gone through all the men in the world, then you can start on the female ones. Okay, so I'm going to stick with female though, and you can leave the language as default. The default is English, so leave that as it is. But you can use this if you was trying to build a business abroad, which we're not trying to do yet. But say when we move to, I don't know, if you're going to go to Pakistan or to, I don't know, Bangladesh or Australia, even though Australia speak English anyway, but you know what I mean. You could then start looking for people with other languages as well. Your current location, I just put Manchester for mine, but you could put London, Liverpool, whatever you want to do. And then in the interest, so what you could put in here, for example, and don't everybody do the same one in the same time because we'll all be going after the same people. You could put in here, Just Eat. So people who are your friends, who live in Manchester, who like Just Eat. They've obviously they've been to the webpage and liked it, and then you click on 5 people. And it's going to look for my friends who have got those characteristics. So it's only found 2 people, 2 women in my friends list who have got who've liked Just Eat's webpage. So you know straight away they've either been to it, used it, or they like it. So you could already start a conversation with them saying, by the way, I've just been checking through my friends list and I see you've liked Just Eat. What do you think of Just Eat? You know, and I've just opened up a conversation with them. And then you can go on to say, well, I just got involved in a business where we've got a business very similar to Just Eat, but we actually give rewards back to people who use the service, and we also pay 5 levels. So would that be something you might be interested in? But don't spam them. You're talking to them and asking them questions to see whether they're receptive. And if they're receptive, then you can give them more information. So, well, I've got some information would you like me to share with you? You might find it really interesting. For brand new business in the UK, you'll be one of the founder members for when we move abroad, you know, and we've got 5,000 affiliates, and when they've gone, they're gone. So you will be a founder member. You'll be able to recruit the people abroad before anybody else, that kind of stuff. And you can word it to whatever wording you want, but it gives you a feel for who you can speak to. So if we go back and do the one where we're not my friends. So let's do the same thing. So non-friends and do Just Eat. There's 3 more people there who they're not my friends who live in Manchester. Oh, sorry, there's more than 3. There's quite a few. So you can see straight away that you've got a few more people to talk to here. So that gives you an idea of how to find people. So do you think you might run out of people to talk to?
Absolutely not. No.
This is the thing. This is what you can use. Now, obviously, you can also do, let's go back and go for friends of friends, which means that you're not friends with them, but one of your friends is a friend with them. So if you do friends of friends, put in Just Eat. This is just one search term. You could put people like holiday. Well, maybe not holidays, but yeah, there could be people who like going on holiday, or they like Barbados, places that you like, you know, or they've got they want to make money online, or they're you know, somebody's just retired. You know, you might think of the person that you would want to work with. Is it somebody of your age group? So a young professional person who's trying to get the job, they need something else to do, you know, or a salesperson, that kind of stuff. So let's just see what friends of friends picks up. So is that just going to be 4, or is there going to be more? There's more. So what you could say was friends with Harrison. There's a few people it says here. So you could say, hi Rachel, one of your posts just popped up on my Facebook page, and I see you're friends with Harrison Schmitz. I've also seen that you like the feet, and you can just go into a conversation like that. Well, first of all, if you're not friends with them, just have a chat saying, how you doing? I see you from Prestwich, that's not far from where I live. And then say, how you doing? How's things going? And just see if they respond. They might not respond, but you never know. It's like walking down the street and knowing who likes Just Eat from just walking down the street. you don't have to talk to them until you know that they already like Just Eat, and then you've already got people to talk to. And there's quite a lot of people who are friends that live in the local area. So start in your, somebody there works for the NHS. There you go, out there, Leslie. Somebody called Heather Ann Irvine works for the NHS.
Don't know her.
But I'm just looking at Manchester. You've got Liverpool.
My God, is there more than 2 of you works for the NHS?
Yeah, it's not me single-handedly keeping it afloat.
There's pages and pages and pages of them. So you've got some, you're going to have a few conversations with people that you don't know, but somebody in your friends list does know them, like Kelly Clark. You can mention that name and say, I see you're friends with Kelly, or I see you're friends with Helen, and that kind of stuff. And I've also, I'm just, reaching out to people who I know who like Just Eat, and I was wondering if, and have a conversation. And we can, hold on, I've got people wanting to come in. We can actually come up with some questions, and I've got some sample things you can say to people when you actually get them on the thing. So this is how you find them anyway. So the search tool will find them for you, and what you would say to people, and I'll put this in the group as well. So you could say things like people who you find using the Ninja Network search tool. So, hey, I was searching Facebook for people of similar interest to me, and your profile popped up. I'm looking to connect with people who are into whatever it is, so Just Eat or whatever, so I can use Facebook to learn and grow. Or, there's a few different examples. Just go through these. Don't go looking for people, and mind you, there's no networking company doing Just Eat, so we're not poaching people from Just Eat. We're looking at people who like Just Eat, who've heard of the company, and just say, have you come across the new business that is just like Just Eat, but is for network professionals who want to make an additional income from all of the sales of all of the people who buy takeaways within their team, that kind of stuff, and we can come up with some different samples based on this. I can come up with some ideas, but I'm just trying to get your thought process going.
This is great. This is actually great. This is like a tailor-made version of what do you say after you've said hello, isn't it?
Yeah, and it goes on. There's obviously things like people who comment on a post that you've posted, points to cover when you're talking to people, like talk about their family, their occupation, what they do, what their dreams are, just get chatting, see what they did at the weekend, whether they got kids, do they like going on holiday, do they ever get a chance to do the holidays? And they'll probably say, no, I'm working forever, I can only get 2 weeks holiday. Would you like to be able to do more, make more, all that kind of stuff, but not spamming. Don't ever say, oh, by the way, here, just check the link out. You just got to say, well, I've been involved. I've just got started with this new business, and it's amazing. And I know I've seen you like Just Eat, so you'll know all about what it does, because it's just like Just Eat, but we offer cash rewards back for everybody who buys from the platform, and we also offer a multi-level or a multi-structured commission plan for people. And so we can make. Sorry, go on.
Are you in? Sorry, Sharon. Are you in Manchester then?
I'm in Warrington, but I'm in between Manchester and Liverpool, so I'm in the middle.
Do you know? I can't believe that. I thought you were in Birmingham. I always thought you were in Coventry.
No, that's Karen.
No, I know Karen's in Coventry. I thought you were in Coventry. I thought you, not lived with her, but I thought you were close to her. Well, there we are. Apologies, everybody. That's just been a bit random.
If you know where Haydock Park Racecourse is in
absolutely, I do. Yeah.
5 minutes away from there.
Oh, blooming heck, right. Well, when I was saying about Leslie, then the 3 of us can hook up and get sorted. So, yeah.
I'm in central Warrington. So.
Oh, do you know, hey, we've got a team.
We can cover the whole of the Northwest between the 4 of us.
We can indeed. Well, I was just going to say, I was looking at some of the figures this morning, and the Greater Manchester has the largest percentage increase in takeaways in the past 12 months. Oh, you probably already know that, but
I can imagine it as well. That's the thing. It's a growing market, and it's not. This will make it better. I mean, obviously, people are coming into the food industry and having to leave pretty damn quick because they can't make money if they go on to Just Eat and the likes. But
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
In theory, is going to make that all better. It's not going to happen overnight. Don't get me wrong. It will take time. Somebody did post something in the questions a minute ago about can they migrate customers across from Just Eat? does that cause a
That
problem?
was me. That was me. I was just asking. I have no idea how
I did ask Aki, and he said no. As long as they don't stop using the service, so they can still be using Just Eat whilst they're building up Eat2earn. And then when the tipping point has happened, you know, when he's getting more from us than he is from them, that's when he can serve his notice. I mean, he might even run it for another 12 months with Just Eat until we get up to a level where we're matching the income that he wants, so they can run parallel.
Right. Okay. So,
There's
there's
no
legal problem. That was my issue. It's just having known how these contracts work. Sometimes they'll say you've got to exclusively work with us, etc.
No,
that was all I was checking.
No, you'll find when you go into some of these restaurants, they've already got 3 in there as it is, so they've definitely not exclusivity. There's no exclusivity agreements, but I mean, maybe there are different contracts they can sign which gives them better rates. And that's up to them. They may have signed one of them, but there is no specific, you know, there's no like, you cannot talk to anybody else if you're using our platform. I mean, they are quite bullish as it is, but that would be just downright, you know, diabolical, really.
Yeah.
That happens. I'm sorry. So in other contracts, I've come across that. So you get a contract which is signed up. So I was just checking that that's not the case. Do we know how many takeaways have been signed up so far? That's what I was looking for.
Because because there's not many. We haven't got that many. I mean, we've probably got about 50 if we've got that at the moment, but they're not in any particular area. So it's not like we can say, oh, well, Liverpool's getting saturated. It's not. The big place where there are them is in Sunderland.
Sunderland, yeah.
Sunderland, Swansea, and there's a few in Stoke-on-Trent. That's it at the moment.
I do think it would be a good idea to have, you know, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a supportive group, this. So I do think it would be good to have a live list, you know, when someone signs up, because it doesn't hurt. And the more that you know people are signing up, the more that you can say it can't ever hurt that.
No, I just think you don't want to be telling restaurants how many restaurants you've got, though, because if you've only got 50 and they'll expect you to have 3,000, then it doesn't, you know, it also doesn't work.
Well, that's the point. But we must have that. It's absolutely essential that is known, so people know where they're going, because it's actually the way to crack this is to get a critical mass. And critical mass means that you can actually go to a new takeaway and say, look, well, actually, we are building enough that you can see that it's actually working. Now,
I don't know what you think, David. I was actually thinking, because we've got Leslie, we've got Sharon, we've got you, and we've got me, we could even go together into one town and build a town by town. We could actually go, right, do you know what? Let's go to sort of, I don't know, Warrington Town Centre one day and divide it up and just get in there, blitz it, and say, right, okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
we've got 20.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or we could do, having said that, sorry, not Warrington, but Liverpool, for instance, the university, around and about, and actually try and get 20, because that's what Scott was saying, we need 20, go together, really target an area and build it and get 20.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Was that the answer? I've not seen the answer. Was it 20?
Yeah, he said 20, and he said they're turning them around in a week as well.
All right, let me come off this share so I can see what's going on, because I've not seen any questions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that sounds a good idea, because also Manchester, don't forget, there's Manchester University, there's a
Absolutely, yeah, but that's the whole thing, yeah, and Preston, you know, so if together we said, right, okay, we're going to help, we're going to build Liverpool, then we're going to build Manchester, then we're going to build Preston, we could do Lancaster.
Warrington.
Say again?
And Warrington.
Do you know, I'm sorry, John. Do you have I'm going to be ignorant here, do you have a university in Warrington?
Yeah.
Well, there is the University of Chester, yes, but that's...
right, okay, yeah.
You've got collegiate, though. You've got colleges as well as universities.
Yeah, there's colleges, etc. Yeah. There's
yeah. We've got Bolton, of course, which is on my doorstep, so...
I think, like you say, if you just do, like you say, hit one area, because there's more of you there. If you've got problems, you can ask somebody.
Exactly, absolutely. It's always better. I think this sort of thing, it's always better to do it as a little team. You know, a
team to hit the area. Yes, I entirely agree with that. I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah.
fact, when they see a lot of people with these Eat2earn t-shirts on, then they're going to think, who are these lot coming around?
Absolutely.
And that's the thing, that's what you want. So if we can get, like you said, 20 in each area, then we can start releasing it to the customers. And it's also trying to speak to a few people who do use the restaurants to find out who are their favourite restaurants in that area, because we might be missing a few that we need to, we didn't even know about. That they would do.
I've asked that tonight, actually. Well, no, earlier today on a Facebook post. What's your favourite type of takeaway? And yes, the next stage would be, if you were in Manchester for the night, where would you go for a takeaway? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that anything like that, I think, like you said, the bigger the picture. Once we started getting a few under our belt, then we can start being a bit more smarter in how we do it.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, God, we can do the curry mile when we go into Manchester.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then we can all sit and have a curry and a well done meal.
No, that would be good. I think that would be a really good, excellent idea. So, let's start planning that in then. So we need to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, no, definitely.
You need to obviously pitch up with somebody in your area. So obviously, Karen, I'm not sure who's in your area down there, apart from Steve, your husband. There must be other people in that one. Most areas have foodie groups on Facebook. It's a place to build lists of most loved takeaways as well. So maybe start searching out some foodie groups on Facebook, guys.
Yeah, I mean we can go down. We could go down as a group, couldn't we? Anyway, and support Karen and Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Karen and Steve actually had a hit list of say 100 takeaways for us to all divide up, then of course we could go down and help them out.
Absolutely.
I think what Karen was finding down there is obviously hitting them at the right time. So sometimes you can't do it on the first pass. You have to go back.
Yeah,
and that's my experience. I've been back 3-4 times to restaurants, which is great when they're around the corner, but not if they're in a different city. That's the only.
I would actually, I would phone. If we were going to do it in a different city, I'd actually telephone and just go, do you know what? Yeah, if you're not available, don't worry about it. We're actually in your city on, Saturday, If you're available, we can come and see you. You can be one of the first. If not, guess what? We'll always catch you later. And a lot of people will then make an effort to be on board. Yeah. People don't want to miss out. That's the big thing. If you say to someone they are somehow, the inference being they're somehow missing out, then they go out of the way to actually go, oh, wait a minute, maybe I can do it. Oh, I can do it for 10 minutes at such and such.
Yeah, well, that's all you're asking for is 10 minutes of the time to go through that booklet.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to then follow them up with a phone call, or ideally go in again, to just get that what they, whether they're interested or not. But the people based in and all right, it does require a lot of ethical and moral behaviour here. However, if, for instance, we went down and helped Karen and Steve, and then they went back in and did the follow-ups and were willing to share out then the restaurants that came on, that's great. It's the same as if people came over, say, to Bolton. If I had a team of people and we brought on 20 restaurants, well, I'm not going to presume that just because I've had to go in 2 and 3 times, I'm going to take all 20 on. I'm going to say, right, well, hang on, who was the team who first came out and helped me? I'm just going to share those out.
Yeah.
It's got to be ethical. Scott's saying phoning they've done this up in Sunderland, and it's not the easiest thing because most of them tell them to hang up on sales calls because they're too busy.
Ah, right, okay.
You never even get to speak to anybody because they just hang up on you. So you do need somebody you can go in and do the first appointment building kind of call.
Well, okay, how about then we say, sorry, this is like extending this webinar now, and it didn't mean to, but okay, the person that is local to where we're going into is the one who goes and makes the initial appointments. And then once those appointments are made for that day or that weekend, we then go in, do a hit on the thing, bring as many in as possible. And if the follow-ups require doing, then that again is for the person who's on the spot, on the ground there, and and we do it that way. It is just a thought. Sorry, I'm not meaning to take over.
No. It's at the end of the day, it's all about working together, isn't it? So we need to, people who've done this before need to share their experience and know how they would do it, because we don't all want to be running around taking 4 and 5 attempts at getting something done. But it's like you say, if we can get like initial interest to at least have the conversation is one thing, and then obviously the next bit is the harder one, which is doing the presentation and trying to get the sale. So yeah, and
that's where the team's important. The presentation and the sale, that's where the team coming in is the important one.
Yeah. Well, I think doing major cities like that, like Birmingham, Coventry, Manchester, Liverpool, but on the local areas, and you need to do those yourself, really, because that's literally in your doorstep, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think you should do your local, because there's not that many. You won't have that many in your local. I mean, for me, I think there's about, where I live, there's probably about 4 or 5. So there's no reason why somebody can't do the village, takeaways. But when you get into the bigger cities like your Liverpools, your Manchesters, your Warringtons, that's obviously a bigger job because you've been walking around forever.
Yeah,
I think that could be that could also be a good idea. So let's get that into the thing. So we need to get an action plan together for that then, to be honest, of where we're gonna go, who's gonna do it, and when.
I hope you're keeping notes, Sharon. I'm not.
We do. We actually need some output from this meeting, so as to what's now got to happen.
Exactly, yeah.
To go through
Unfortunately, John and I sound like we're a bit anal. That's the way we work.
Yeah, we need some notes doing. I'll have to watch the video again because I haven't been taking notes, to be honest. I've been trying to think of what I need to say next before I do the next bit. But I will. I'll get a list of notes together what we need to do. There's only like 3 or 4 action points anyway, so it's not a massive amount, to be honest. So you've all got the link for the Ninja Networker things, haven't you? So the ninjasearchtool.com.
Did you put that? Sorry, did you put that in the chat?
No, but I'm going to give it you over the phone now. It is. Let's go back. I'm not sure which one is on. Is it on this one? That's it. Ninja. So Ninja. I'll tell you what. I'll shove it in the chat now so you can copy it and paste it so you've got it. Here it goes.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so copy that, and that is and then what I'll do is I'll put the actual list of all the questions that you could potentially ask them. This one, which was this document, I'll put that in there as well. At the end of this document, it says, like, if you're interested in, I don't think it says it there actually, on some of them it says if you're interested in taking up a business. It's not saying it on this one, so it's not a problem. But I think it says it on the tool. I think it says it somewhere on the doc on here. So if you need to learn how to use it, but it's dead straightforward. But on here it says that if you want to learn more how to build a business using social media, that's just going onto his mail list. So if you're really interested in getting involved with the Ninja Network, come back to me, because I was having a chat with him last night. So he is still offering like a referral system. I think it's going to change next week. So it is. I've been using it for 2 years. I've not really done as much as I could have done with it because I didn't need to. But because this is a whole new industry for me, then it's definitely something I'll be using a lot of.
Yeah.
To speak to people, because it saves you walking around the street. I don't do face-to-face marketing. I've never done it before in life. So for me to start doing it now would be really anal to me, or alien.
I do face-to-face.
Right. Well, you can use.
I love that.
But you can use this as a bit of both, can't you? So you can start. But if you can do both, then even better.
Yeah, but that to me though, the Ninja is fantastic because that's something I'm not good at. I'm good at face-to-face. I'm not good at online.
Well, there you go. It's dead easy. Online is dead easy. As long as you know how to talk, as long as you know how to talk to people, then it's fine. And if you're happy to talk to people after that, because most people can do Facebook marketing, but they're frightened to death of picking up the phone, which is the hardest bit. And it's just like, well, why are you scared? It's only like picking up the phone to a friend, but they don't feel like that. Whereas if you could get this conversation going on Facebook and say, well, how do you fancy having a Skype or a Zoom? And then you're into your comfort zone then, because you're used to talking to people. So you should find that a lot easier.
Yeah.
So that's it, guys. That's all I had. I hope that was enough for tonight. I think we covered quite a lot of ground, so I think it was a worthwhile exercise. And I'll make sure this gets put up on YouTube as soon as it's available. Like, I don't know how long it'll take to render, but I'll try and get it up tonight. If not, it'll be first thing in the morning.
Fantastic.
Can I ask a question?
Any questions before we go? Anything that we've not covered?
Yeah, me.
Oh, you would have. Go on.
Right. What would be really helpful is like a bullet point list of what happens when a takeaway signs up. Now, I know we've got the quick sign up sheet, but for me to be able to explain to them what happens. So, for example, they agree to sign up, then they go to the website and they pay their fee or the defer. We know they send their information into E2E. And then I think E2E then send them back a copy of what's going on the site, but I'm not sure. And then at some point, the phone gets sent and the literature gets sent to the takeaway. And then the phone gets plugged in and then they're away. I think that's it. But it would be quite useful just because if my first sign up, I'll be that excited that I've signed someone up. It'll all go to pieces. I won't know what to do next. So just to be clear of what's involved. And another question, because I've got an appointment to see someone on Wednesday, and this bloke is elderly and he's totally against online stuff. So I'm making it my mission in life to convert him. So I need to know exactly what does he need, does he need access to a computer? Presumably he does, to sign up and to look at his accounts and things.
He can use he can use a mobile, a smartphone.
Yeah. But as I say, just a list of the process of signing up would be helpful. But also, I've just got one other question. If a customer goes on the Eat2earn site and they order a takeaway, so they go to a Liverpool takeaway, they then go on that menu, don't they? So they'll order from that menu. Who do they pay?
They pay the website.
They pay the website, which is the restaurant or E2E.
E2E. Oh, they can defer it and say pay cash, which means they pay the restaurant. So
if they pay it online then to E2E, how do the restaurant get that money? Because they need the money for that order, don't they?
This is how it works with all of the online services. So the way ours is working, any order that's processed up to Sunday evening, so Sunday night, midnight, that's the cut-off point.
Yeah.
The orders all of the payments are processed on the Monday.
Right.
We cross-reference the ones where we've been paid and the ones where the restaurant's been paid. So we've took the order.
Yeah.
Some have paid to us, some have paid to the restaurants.
Okay, yeah.
Minus one from the other.
Yeah.
And then the difference gets paid to the restaurant the following day. So on a Monday's process, Tuesday's pay.
Right, okay. That's really helpful because they're the type of thing people will ask.
It's a week in arrears. Well, obviously the first week is they don't get paid, but this is standard practice for everybody.
Right.
It's for people to cancel or they've had a problem with their order and they've had food poisoning and all that kind of stuff. It just saves a lot of issues going forward. Yeah. So if somebody joins on a Wednesday, for example, that Sunday is not their first cut-off week, it's the following Sunday.
Right, okay.
Just to be sure that that's how it works, really.
And do we take our fees out of that money before that gets sent to them?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
In fact, it's done at the point of sale. So whenever that order's processed, it goes allocated at that point. That's how you get your points.
Okay, so that's helpful because I haven't thought through this whole process yet, but it's quite useful to know how that works. So it's a week in arrears, and if they get paid from us minus their fees, that's helpful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and if they've taken a lot in, because obviously we've got the order, so we know how many orders have gone through our system, and we took the fees on that.
Yeah.
But some of them we didn't get the money because it went to the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's where we would take off from what we've received from them. We'd take off what they got.
Yeah.
They get the rest.
And then, so they get that money. They get that money from us once a week. Yeah. So it's not
every week. Every Tuesday should be the day, and it'll go straight to the bank, whatever bank they nominated as their preferential payment plan method.
Right. Okay.
And obviously, eventually, that's the first method. In the future, once we get going proper with all the customers and everything, there will be a debit card that people can have as well. But we aren't offering that at the moment because we're not at that point in time. But so for now, it's just once they get £100 or more from a payment, for like the reward. So once you get £100 or more in your referral commissions, then you can take out that through to the bank.
Yeah. No, that's helpful. Thanks, Sharon. It's just piecing together each part of the system, learning a little bit each week. So that's helpful. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome. It's good questions. Anybody else? Are we done?
Yeah. Can I ask a quick question just before we go? I was looking on the Martin Lewis, the money is site.
Yeah.
And there was so I was looking at some of the complaints against Just Eat. One of the things was that somebody had ordered a pizza, and then the pizza place had said, "Oh, really, really sorry, we haven't got that pizza." So it was like, "Oh, well, never mind, we'll order from another pizza." So they actually looked down the list, found another pizza place, and ordered again from another pizza place. They couldn't complete the order either for whatever reason. So now at that point, the guy said, "Oh, do you know what? At that point, we just had egg on toast and thought no more of it." Now, I know, that's how I'd be. But what they said was that actually they got an email saying that they would be reimbursed for the 2 payments within 7 days. And he said it's a bloody good job we didn't try and order a third pizza. It would have taken us into our overdraft. So have we got a system where, what happens if someone orders something and then it's not fulfilled? How is there a time frame where the payment would taken and then take time to come back?
Good question. I don't know the answer. Scott's online. He'll know if he's still there. He'll be the one to answer that question. I don't know about refunds.
Yeah. I mean, if we're the same as Just Eat, we just keep quiet about it. But actually, if we've got a better system, then that's something in the opportunity section, isn't it?
I was going to say, stick it on your SWOS.
Absolutely, exactly. That's exactly what would come up, yeah.
Right, so Scott says we can refund it straight away, but the payment companies can take up to 7 days for it to go back through the system because it's not cash. That would take
right.
So it is an industry standard. So it's not that they're being awkward. It's just that is what it can take up to. Because if you go somewhere, I don't know. Yeah, if you take something back to Marks and Spencer's, it doesn't get credited to your account that day. It can take 3-4 working days for it to get back.
Yeah, it is a bit much, isn't it, really, though? If you're trying to order and then they can't fulfill the order, it's like, oh, hang on, I need that. If you went into somewhere, you wouldn't say, they wouldn't put £20 in the till and then go, "Oh, you can't be pizza." It's like, "Well, give me 20 quid back,"
The only difference then that is when people would pay cash because they could
yeah.
money. So it's kind of whatever they want to do. Really.
Oh well, we just have to keep quiet about that one then. I thought it might be an advantage that we had.
Exactly, but when you talked about Martin Lewis, that's a place where we could potentially get to endorse our products going forward because it's a money-saving way of eating.
All right, Scott's just said we do have systems for restaurants to temporarily remove items when they can't sell them. That's good.
Yeah, so if they've run out of chicken or they've run out of ham or they've run out of
yeah, they can just take that off the list. Yeah, it's whether they would do if they're busy. It's like,
and that's for something for us. Obviously, if we get complaints, we go back to the restaurant saying, "Look, you're not helping yourself. This is what."
Yeah, exactly.
And if we find that we get a lot of complaints, we can get them removed from. So look, we don't want.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to. You got to. Yeah, you got to work with us. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds like we've had a good session, 1 hour and 20 minutes. So good luck to the people who've got to rewatch this.
And that's without Aki.
Pardon?
And that's without Aki.
Exactly. But Aki, we went another hour on top of that.
But you see, you've had me on. You'll be saying you're not having Aki and Anne on the same video. I'm having it.
No, it's been really productive stuff that we've talked about, which is the main thing.
It has actually, it really has. We've put a lot into this. Yeah.
So looking forward to next week. Obviously, we'll get some notes sent out in the group. We'll put it in the group as to what the action plan is. But then we need to action these little work groups. So we need to obviously come together and decide when we're going to do them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we've got a few things here that we need to timetable and go, right, okay,
If everyone's going to the 14th, we can do a bit of work there.
Yeah, ideally, I'm going to be going, I'll be going mid-afternoon, so even though the meeting starts at 7, if people are free and they want to go down sooner, then we can meet up, during the course of the day. I know not everybody can do that, I know that, but people who can, obviously, come down earlier if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'll come down earlier because I have a few health issues, so I just have to be a bit careful on, I sort of parcel my energy up and do it in little parcels, as it were. So yeah, I'll come down earlier and then sit down.
Avoiding rush hour will help significantly.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly, absolutely. That's exactly what I do. I don't go anywhere near rush hour traffic. Yeah.
No, and I think Stoke's not too bad. It's about an hour, 45 minutes.
I was just going to say it's only an hour and 10 minutes from me. So yeah, that's fine.
So I'd go midday. Give yourself a bit of time. The meeting will finish about 9, maybe 10. And it's just a matter of making your way back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so that sounds like a plan. So let's get that done. We'll get the notes in the group as quick as we can, and then we can make those. But if we want to wait till the 14th, we can.
Yep.
We can do that, and then we can plan it all together while we're all there.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Okay. Thank you very, very much, Sharon. Thank you. Marvelous hosting. All right. Well done.
All right, boys. Thanks a lot, guys. And see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.